Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are setting up my bullet journal for the month of September and I'm really excited about this one, so let's just get into it. This month we're going in with the scrapbooking slash collage theme with these beautiful papers from Paper Minty Studio, and these ones which are the same patterns but in vellum. Basically Paper Minty Studio, she's a very known artist on Instagram. She usually comes out with monthly product drops. I believe they're monthly, and recently she came out with digital downloads, which I was really excited about, and so I just got the file. I printed it at home and I printed some in the normal paper and some in the vellum just so I could have more textures to play around with. This little gingham pattern and another pattern that you will see a bit further down the video, those are from another store on Etsy. And I will link both Paper Minty Studio and that product from Etsy on the description. I can't link the exact product that I got from Paper Minty Studio because her store is currently closed, from what I was seeing earlier. So I'm just gonna link her store, and hopefully when it opens up you guys can go check it out. And I will link her Instagram handle as well, so you guys can look at her art. She's really talented. I love her products, and I was really excited about the digital downloads. I am from Europe, so ordering anything that comes from the United States is exceptionally expensive. The shipping fees are humongous, and on top of that, you have to deal with customs. And so it just becomes really expensive, and this was a really lovely way that I had to finally get my hands on some of her art, which I've been itching to do for a while now. And yeah, that was fun. By the way, I was struggling with my glue stick because this had been open for a little while now and the glue was kind of stiff. So you will see me going in with my finger in an attempt to kind of melt out the glue and help it spread a little bit more. Yeah, I thought that I was running out of glue. I thought that this was the only glue stick that I had. Turns out I had another one, but by the time I realized that I had a fresh one and I could have avoided this hassle, it was already too late and the clumpy glue was already on the page. So yeah. I thought about, I didn't have any of the glue dispensers on me, you know, like little rolls of sticky tape that you can just use to very cleanly and mess-free glue down everything. I was gonna order some, but I was just like, I have the glue sticks and also the vellum. I felt like it really needed to be fully glued onto the page so that it didn't have any like pockets of air. Here on this page, on the side, there were areas that it kind of had air bubbles because it wasn't perfectly glued down. So if you're going to do something like that with vellum, I would still recommend to use a glue stick, but please just use one that is functional. Don't be me. Don't be me. But yeah, I really love the composition between the different papers from Minty Studio and the ones that I got from Etsy. The artwork from Paper Minty, I swear, it's really beautiful. It looks really good on camera, but it looks better in person. And I just feel kind of bad that I don't have a better printer because even though it looks really beautiful, I still feel like it could have looked better if I had a better printer. But you know, close enough. Close enough. For this month, I was actually itching to not do a drawing theme. If you saw my last video, I was setting up my bullet journal for the second part of 2022. 2024, second part of 2024, and I mentioned that I was gonna do an August video, which actually I set it up and I filmed the whole thing, but I wasn't happy with it. I have been struggling with my creativity, and not just my creativity essentially, but I've been struggling with the little amount of time that I have between work, filming for YouTube, and having a normal person life. And the amount of pressure that I put on myself to come up with super unique themes and super intricate and drawing the whole thing and making everything beautiful, because I really do like to put my best work out there. Problem is that when I limit myself to just drawing, that requires a really big investment of time that I don't always have a way to maintain that. It's not very sustainable for me to make very elaborate drawn out themes every single month. I just do not have the life where that is possible. at the moment. So I just came to terms with the fact that I might have to bring out more collages. And actually, you know what? Collages are some of my favorite themes. Actually, because they just feel very freeing, almost. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love to draw, which is why I kind of started bullet journaling in the first place. It's something that allows me to be very creative and artistic once a month, at the very least. But considering the aspect of video making, I set up my videos. I start working for a theme if it's drawn out easily 2 weeks before the video comes out, because I spend a lot of time thinking about what theme I'm going to do. I spend a lot of time jotting down ideas, drafting things, playing around with color palettes, with what line art, everything. I spend a long time then drawing out everything, mapping everything out. I usually spend a big chunk of time filming. Usually if a theme is drawn out, I take anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of filming. This one took me only 4. That's a very considerable difference in time. And then there's all the editing and everything. And honestly, you invest a lot of time, and then it breaks my heart when themes where I was drawing my little heart out kind of flop a little bit. So yeah, my last video, the one for the second part of 2024, that is my best drawing work I've ever done, and the video flopped in a way that I did not think it would, and it broke my heart. And it's just it kind of makes you question whether your work is good enough. And I know rationally that that's not the issue. I know that it's just an issue of algorithms and whether the platform that you're posting on decides to push that video or not. But it's still kind of hard. It's still kind of hard, and it doesn't feel as personal when it's a collage theme, you know? So yeah, a lot of things are going through my mind when it comes to making these kinds of videos, and I'm sorry that I'm kind of dumping this on you, but I feel like it's important to talk about these things, because as someone who is creating the videos that you're watching, it does make a difference on our side of things. And so yeah, I want to post more consistently, and I want to be happy with what I'm posting and have the time to have a normal life, and also the time to post more than just once a month. I want to post more regularly. I want to maybe branch out a little bit on the content that I make. And so if that means kind of going with more collage themes, I hope that you guys will bear with me. I will still be drawing. I swear I'll still be drawing, but maybe just not every single month. Because, like I said, it does kind of really break my heart a little bit to see something that you put so much time and effort into not do well. It's incredibly rewarding when it does do well, but it's really a lot of time put into something that I could be using that same amount of time to bring out 4 videos a month instead of just 1. So, something to think about. And also I'm thinking about playing around a little bit more with digital drawing myself. This kind of digital download situation with Paper Minty Studio made me think, well, I've always been into digital art. I've always liked the idea of delving into it a little bit more, so I'm exploring the idea of making my own patterns and textures and just printing those out and using those for my collages. So that way everything is made by me, and I still draw from my bullet journal, but it's not as incredibly time consuming, because honestly, the aspect of having a digital drawing really is more time efficient, because you can play around with everything so much quicker. You don't have to draw the same thing over and over in different color palettes. You could just very quickly go in and test out different colors and change everything, and it's super fast. So I can still draw out everything and do collages simultaneously, which kind of brings the best of both worlds for me, because I love drawing, but I love collages. So I think I'm gonna start experimenting with that. And that way, if things go well, I can make the files that I make available to you guys. So we'll see. I'm excited about that idea. So yeah, I really loved the idea of printing things out on the vellum paper. This was not something that I had thought about before, but the actual artist that makes these, again, Paper Minty Studio, she makes the physical drops of products, and every month, again, I believe it's every month, I've seen that it's every month, she makes, within the packs of products that she drops, she always has pages of vellum paper, which I've always thought looked so pretty. And so I thought, you know what, let me just get some vellum paper really quickly, because that will allow me to play around with another texture. And I had never tried to print out anything in vellum paper. I didn't even know that you can do that. I was surprised that my printer did a good job of printing these out. It looks so pretty. You guys have no idea. It just looks so beautiful in person to see like the print up against the paper, but you can still see the dotted pages underneath. It's so beautiful. I don't know. And the touch of it feels very kind of ASMR. It feels very pleasant. So yeah. And since these papers have a very kind of Greek style vibe to them, I kind of went with stoic like quotes to go along with them. When it comes to collages, I kind of like to bring out some quotes on them. I feel like it just adds a little bit of an extra. And by the way, the quotes that I'm using and the headers, I just made those myself on a Google Doc file. The only thing that you need to do to have this effect, you just write down whatever you want, you highlight the background to whatever color you choose, and you put the actual font in white. And so that way you can just print out whatever you want. You don't need to be spending money on buying specific stickers for this. Just print it out at home. It makes it so much cheaper. You can really play around with the sizes, with whatever phrases you want to use, with everything. It makes it super personal, customizable. I'm mixing my Portuguese with my English. I apologize. At this point, I'm just bilingual. But yeah. I am really, really happy with how this theme turned out. I don't know, it just feels very clean. And I feel like when I go in with collages, at least the way that I did it with this one, I feel like it comes out cleaner, which is what I was saying. And I feel like I kind of use up my paper more. I feel like even though there's a lot of pattern going on, it doesn't feel as busy if I was drawing the whole thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah. One thing about the glue that I'm using, I would definitely recommend glue stick for the vellum paper, but for everything else, do not be like me. Use the glue dispensers. They're way less messy. The glue stick is just a bit too messy for a lot of the small things. You always need to have something to use as a base to apply the glue. Your fingers get sticky and sometimes the pages glue together. Vellum, glue stick, yes. Everything else, glue dispenser. Don't be me, honestly. This month, I kind of always like to match up the mood that I have for the month with my theme. And so the kind of stoic, phrases made sense for me this month. I have some time on my hands. I'm on a sabbatical leave at the moment from my work. So I have the entire month off, and I've decided to use it as the kind of month where you disappear and come back like a new person. And so it made a lot of sense for me. I just really want to focus on myself, on things that I want to achieve in life. And so these quotes made sense for me. That's why I'm using them. I'm going in here with my sleep tracker. I haven't done this in a little bit, and I felt the need to bring it back. I had been using a sleep app before. I stopped using it, and then honestly I just didn't go back to a sleep tracker because I knew that my sleep pattern was so bad that I was just going to be embarrassed by myself if I saw it on paper. And this month, like I said, disappear and come back a new person. I want to hold myself accountable to these kind of things. So one of them is fixing my sleep schedule, and so I want to see it clear as day on paper in front of me, so that if I start to feel embarrassed, I just do something about it and I fix it. So yes, on the right there we have my mood and my gratitude log. So I like to have my mood trackers next to my sleep trackers because more often than not I find that my mood is directly affected by my sleep. And I want to, at the end of the day, when I'm writing down the mood that I had, even if my mood was horrible, I want to write down at least one thing to be grateful for in the day, just so that I don't go to bed thinking that the day was absolutely horrible. I feel like it kind of helps you not have such a bad taste on your mouth at the end of the day. And always, I still kind of feel like even if your day was absolutely horrible, there's always at least one little thing to be grateful for, even if it's just having a warm bed at night, having food, having your pets be healthy, having yourself be healthy. There's always something to be grateful for, and so I wanted to bring that energy back into my life. One thing that I only realized after I finished after I finished making the entire setup, after I filmed the whole thing, after I took all of the pictures that I'm going to be using on Instagram of all of the spreads, on my mood tracker, I wrote down month instead of mood. There's no way for me to fix this anymore. It's on the photos. I can't hide it. I don't know how I did this. I do not know how I wrote down month instead of mood. I was just so in the zone doing the spread that I didn't even notice what I was writing down. So yeah, it happens. It's already, if I had noticed before I went in with the marker, I could have just gone in with a white gel pen or even glued down another piece of paper on top to try and disguise it. There's no disguising it at this point. I'm just owning it. I wrote down month. It's fine, guys. If you make mistakes on your bullet journal, I used to be so mad when I made mistakes. I would either like tear out the pages, or I would glue down stuff on top to disguise it. Sometimes life just happens, and you have to just live with mistakes, and that is fine. So again, going in with the vellum on the left there, and going in with the actual pattern down here. There were 4 files for the digital download file that I got from Paperminty Studio. There was this one where the pattern is horizontal. There's the one with the pattern vertical. They're different patterns, by the way. So the one that you have horizontally there beneath the mood tracker is a different file from the one that is on the left on the vellum. Those are 2 of them. The third one is the one on the cover, so it's just one illustration of like a statue looking guy. And the 4th one I didn't use because that one was black and white and it didn't fit with my aesthetic that I was going for. But if, for example, you like this but you don't want to go as colorful, even though these colors are pretty muted, you do have the black and white option, or you can just print out everything in black and white. That's the advantage of having files in a digital download. You can really just go in and customize everything to your liking, which is incredibly freeing and makes everything more versatile, which is honestly why I really love digital downloads over physical products. A lot of times I feel like it just gives me a lot of room to play around and do whatever I want and make the most out of my money also, because if it's a digital download you can just print things out however many times you want, whereas if it's a physical product you run the risk of getting too little, not having enough, or you just have it for that one time. I will own these digital downloads for however long I keep them in my computer for, and so yeah, pretty happy with this. Here, this is my favorite. Actually, I don't know. I feel like for this month, I like every single one of the spreads. I feel like they all came out so well that I don't really have a favorite, but this is my favorite to create. Because I've never done anything like this before. I had always loved looking at people making pockets in their bullet journal, but I had never made one until now. Basically, I went in with the vellum and I made a little pocket. And it's so cute. It looks so cute in person. Like I said, I have the month off of my work. I'm on sabbatical leave. And so I decided that I wanted to make a little bucket list for the month of the things that I want to get done and of the things that I would like to do throughout the month. And I don't know why I came up with the idea of putting the bucket list in a pocket. I feel like this is part of my bucket list actually, because like I said, I wanted to make a pocket at some point. I've seen people do it and I thought it was so cute. So as part of my bucket list, I'm already doing something that is in a bucket list. So yeah, so I just grabbed the horizontal pattern on the vellum. Since it is horizontal, it doesn't really cover the entire page vertically, like I did, for example, with the cover page. No, with the quote page next to the cover page. That's better. I couldn't do that. So I was wondering about what to do with that vellum paper because I wanted to do something that would highlight it a little bit more. I came up with the idea of the pocket and I just loved it. So what I did was I just kind of put the paper on top of my page. Since you can see the dots underneath, it makes it super easy because you can just use the little dots as your reference to do the size. And I didn't really plan it out ahead. I just grabbed the vellum and you guys saw me do it. It was so quick. You just fold it a little bit on 3 sides. Again, since you can see the bullet points underneath, I could just use that as kind of my ruler of sorts to make that little indentation on the pocket, just to give a little bit more pizzazz, I guess. And then just making the little insert. The notebook that I'm using is from Lila Journals, and the notebook at the end, it has detachable pages, so you can use them for whatever you want, which is phenomenal for me because sometimes I like to either pull out pages to fix mistakes, like I'm saying, or in this case to actually use it as an insert for my bullet journal, or to use it as scrap paper to test something out, because sometimes you need to test things out in the paper that you're going to be using it on, like markers, to see if they play through or not. And so I did this, and look at how cute this turned out. I'm so happy with this. I'm actually so happy with this. It makes me so happy. It's just so different from anything I've ever done, and I'm really, really happy with that. And now I want to do pockets in every single one of my bullet journal spreads. How am I gonna do that? I don't know. I don't know any other monthly themes that would require a little pocket, but now I want to do more pockets. You might see more pockets from me in the future. They're fun to create. And in the vellum, it just looks so pretty. But yeah, in case you guys want to do a pocket, I will encourage that. And like I said, the illustration on the cover, it's one of the files, and like I said, you can really customize that. I had it on a different size on the cover. I printed it out a little bit smaller and I put it on this one. I also had a really big one because I had one where I just printed that out in the entire page, and I thought that was going to be my cover, but then I felt like it was just too big. Like I said, that's the benefit of digital downloads. You can just really customize everything to your liking. If you just go on Etsy, because I feel like a lot of people don't really like to draw, or they feel like they're not good at drawing, and that kind of sets them back from bullet journaling. There are so many digital download files on Etsy. You can just go on there, look for digital download packs. There are people that have really beautiful packs with a lot of patterns, with a lot of like little illustrations, and you can really, if you just buy one that is very diverse, like I said, you can really play around with colors, you can really play around with the sizes of things, and you can just really make a lot of stuff on your own without spending a lot of money, without going crazy drawing things. It is more time efficient, like I was saying, drawing versus this kind of spread. So just investigate a little bit, look into it, see if it's something that you could easily do. Even if you don't have a printer at home, this is not very expensive to print out at a printing center. So I honestly recommend this type of stuff. And if I go through with the whole making my own patterns and printing them out and using them in my bullet journal, I want to make the files available for you guys and maybe start a little digital downloads kind of store on Etsy or something. I feel like that would be something that I would like to do. But yeah, hopes and dreams. Let's see how the month goes. Going in with my weeklies, I have something to regrettably inform. At the end of filming my weeklies, my tripod, it's not a tripod, but the metal thingy that sustains my phone over my desk so that I can film, it has this little metal ball thingy that allows you to rotate the phone while you're filming, and that thing decided to glide off while I was filming, which is gonna be sometime soon. And so instead of actually filming what I was doing, I was actually filming my floor. So some of the footage is going to be a little bit lost, and I'm really sorry about that. But here I'm going in with the pattern on the sides. I made a little Dutch door for my weeklies, which has now become custom. Not custom. Has become my default. Since I started doing this, I started doing this when I did a video for ideas for spreads. And ever since then, I've been in love with the little Dutch door for the weeklies. And what I did was I just put down the pattern on the sides, and I went in with, again, another detachable page from the end of the notebook, and I drew out the little things that I wanted to have on the sides there, so that way I have them on top of the background. And I thought it looked really cute, and it came out so cute. So I just did these out on a separate page, cut them out a little bit, kind of went in with a little pencil to note down where I wanted them to sit on top of the illustration, and they came out like this. This is where I lost the footage. Really sorry that you guys don't get to see the process of these going on, but yeah, you can still see the final result. And so it looks like that. It looks so pretty. Maybe I'm delusional, but I don't know. I think it looks really pretty. And that is basically what I did for this month. I'm just going in with the headers for the weeklies. If you wonder what I'm doing with my fingers at this point, I had to run out of the glue stick. The one that I had, the backup one, yeah, it ran out as well because these are mini glue sticks, and so I was applying this with my finger because that's how bad it got. But yeah, it was the finishing line, so I was just like, we're gonna pull through. And so we did. But yeah, it's done. And I just realized then that I forgot to apply the gray shadow on some of the boxes before, so I'm just going back in and doing this. Honestly, little gray shadow backdrop works wonders and makes everything pop a little bit more. And let's go in with the final flip through. I am honestly so happy with this video. I'm so happy with this setup. I hope you guys enjoy as much as I did. I feel like it's been some of my most inspired work recently, which is funny considering that I didn't really do the illustrations that are going into it, but it just freed up my mental juices to go into the actual spreads that I was making them something that I liked, making them something that was functional, and I don't know, it just felt very fun. I'm really happy with that pocket. I love that pocket so much. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if you did. Feel free to let me know if there's something you would like to see in the future, something you didn't like. I do not know how to speak anymore. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!